Hello, hello. I don't know if you remember, I made this little tag to go in our book page pockets that I did recently, and I wanted to do some more. However, I had a little problem. I know I've got more garment tags somewhere, couldn't find them, and I know I haven't got a load of them because I don't really buy very many new clothes. I could find this one. This is not really what I was looking for. I wanted something like this. So in true crafter fashion, making something probably quite pointless, I'm going to make some garment tags before I make the embellishment. So I hope you enjoy this. Have you ever had to make something that you can get, but you have to make it anyway because you just don't have it? Let me know in the comments down below. Right, I'm going to start off with my little cutting board, and I'm making these out of Amazon packaging. It's the perfect colour for these garment tags. I'm just going to slide this in. I've already squared off the edges. I'm just going to have a little look, try and make them a similar size. Cut that. And I'm going to use this side, and let's just cut that. Okay, so let's start with this. And I'm going to take my small corner rounder. It's not perfect. It's a little bit difficult to cut the corners on this, but it does work. Probably need to get the tin foil on this one. So there we have roughly a garment tag shape. I've already cut 2 others out, ready and waiting. And what we're going to do is we're going to make, first of all, the little bit here. I've tried a couple of methods for this to see what works. I made a little template and inked inside. Didn't go too well. It's not completely clear, plus I've got a little bit of an overhang here. This would probably work if you wanted to use maybe an archival ink, but I'm not going that route. What I'm going to do is I'm just grabbing a piece of scrap, any scrap paper will do. I've got my oxide, and all I'm going to do is just put a little bit on there. Use my little circle punch and chop out my colour. Now don't worry, this will all get used. It will get used for something else. Now I'm going to swap to blue. Now I'm going to do a little bit of faded jeans here. That's actually Uncharted Mariner still on my brush. I can see that colour very clearly. Let's do a couple in the blue. Right, so that was Uncharted Mariner. And I'm going to just grab my punch again and cut my little holes like that. So on with the glue. Very, very simple. Drop it into place. It will dry clear. Don't have to worry about that. And there we have our 3 tags. We just need to give it a second to dry before we put the hole in. Grab my hole punch. I can't find my little single one anywhere. I don't know what's happened to that. Line it up as best I can and just punch a hole. And this is what happens if you don't let it dry. This is what happens if you don't let it dry. I have 3 kind of garment tags ready to embellish. So the first thing I need to do is cut some of this. This started this colour. It's just on a roll. It's called Hessian ribbon or burlap ribbon, depending on where you are. This one I have given a squirt with broken china. This one has had a spritz of something brown and fossilised amber. So I'm going to cut. I'm going to do 3 different tones. I'm going to do 1 plain, 1 blue, and 1 with the browns and the grungy. Let's do that. So let's do this one. And what I'm going to do is just roughly put that in place, turn that over. I'm going to put a little line where I want to cut here and a little line where I want to cut there. And I'm just going to cut these. I'm going to pull out a couple of these threads and a couple this way. Just use my nail to kind of rough those up a little bit. And that one will go on there, probably that way. So now we have something like that, and now we need to kind of embellish these a little bit. So I've got, first of all, my scrapbook paper scrapbox here, and I'm going to just literally pull out, that's blue, so that might work, anything that might already have a torn edge. And now comes the scrapbox. It's here. I'm just going to audition some pieces on here. They're going to go back in my scrapbox. This came in some happy mail from Nikki Adigan a very long time ago. I'm sending her lots of love. Now, I think I'm going to go, let's try that. I might just cut the edge off this one, like that. Let's see what else I have in here. Oh, this is quite good. We have a piece of, it's a ledger book, but it's got that blue in it, so that would work well. Let's cut a piece off that. And I'm literally going to have two pieces, a piece of scrapbook paper and a piece of alternative paper of some sort. I like this edge here. Let's tear a piece of that. Perfect. That's my scrapbox done. Okay, so I've pulled out from my little ephemera pieces, I've got a couple of toadstools. So the first thing I'm going to do very quickly is just ink all of these, actually glue these into place before I add my ephemera. So this first piece, I'm going to just put a little bit of glue up there and then just pick that up like so. Just make sure that's glued everywhere it needs to be glued. And now I'm going to glue this onto my Hessian. Okay, so those are now glued in place and they are our perfect backgrounds. And this is, I love working in threes or odd numbers. So we've got our piece of burlap, our two pieces of paper. So that's my 3. Now I can embellish these further however I want. And I'm literally going to pick a mushroom or a toadstool to go on each one, and I think that perfect, that will work well. So I've got this little piece here which I think would go quite nicely on that one. I've got some teeny tiny labels here, and there's a blue one. I'm just wondering whether to put that down the bottom, whether to even have that peeking in that little, might have that there actually. See what else I've got. Nice little brown label. Can afford to have something a bit bigger on this one. I'm happy with these. This is what I've got. So what I'm going to do is just give these little bits an ink and glue them down into place. Oh, I'm sorry. I had to go off and have a little bit of a cool down because I'm so warm. I think it's supposed to be one of those days today where it's, you know, it's just the sun is out and it's absolutely boiling, and then the sun goes behind cloud and you have to put your cardigan on. It's just one of those days, but blimey, I just suddenly got a bit warm. Age thing, I think, probably. Probably an age thing. Gonna have that there. And the last one, I'm just going to overlap again. Maybe not straight. Don't want that straight. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm going to put the mushroom in place, but I want to make sure I've got it far enough over to one side so I can sew and not stitch into any of the toadstool. And I like that. That works for me. And the toadstool. There's still room to add things if we want to at a later date. These are very, very simple. And you could use anything to embellish them. They don't have to be toadstools. You could use postage stamps. Any ephemera that you have would work. So the next thing I want to do is just run a stitch down these 3 pieces. Those are now all sewn. Not happy with this one. I'm going to do another row down here. That's much better. So there are our 3 little embellishment pieces. Very, very simple. And we're going to put them onto our tags. So I'm just going to use my art glitter glue for this. Might be a good idea actually to maybe use Fabri-Tac, but mine is mine's more Fabri-Block at the moment, so I do need a new one of those. Add that, make sure that looks okay from the back. And this one, was that this one or was that this one? This one, I think. Some kind of top on these tags. I've got my box of, that's perfect. So this one is embroidery floss. Let's add that to, let's put it on this one and then just cut that top piece off. And we've got some different ribbons here. Now obviously when you have garment tags, they're never the same, so let's do these differently. Let's use this. And this is a little bit of organza kind of ribbon. And we'll put that in this one. Cut the extra off. And this one, yeah, that's a bit thick, so is that. Right, I think I'm going to have to go for this kind of cream ribbon in this one. Faux garment tags embellished, and you know, I think they're pretty good. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it useful, and yeah, I'm gonna go and melt somewhere now. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you all soon.